Welcome to the Great Big Indian Wellness Show, presented to you by iGlobal. And if you have just joined us, we're on the day 2 of 2 days packed with wellness, fitness tips and masterclasses. And to catch up with all these sessions, you can go and visit iglobalnews.com. Today, what we're talking about, you are what you eat. And there's no denying that. And I have 2 beautiful ladies and experts in their field to tell us and guide us through. So I'd like to introduce Kajal Kaj, known as Kajal's Kitchen. And she has had 28 years experience on running an online well-being program, workshops, super clubs and will retreats. And we have seen her take the community by storm and educate people on how to, even with Indian food, how to cook in a healthy manner. She's also staggeringly brought her mother back from stage 4 cancer. I'd like to also introduce Urvashi Lad from online wellness, Ush Push Fitness. Ush is an online health wellness coach specializing in female fitness for the South Asian communities. She helps women overcome emotional eating and promote fat loss through mindset, fitness, and nutrition coaching. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
And I am absolutely super excited about this session because there's so many misconceptions around this, and there's a lot of people in the audience that are looking for answers and they think they're doing the right thing. And we actually might be just going against the whole process of trying to lose weight or trying to become healthy. So I think, it's really hard, especially in the Asian communities, when we are trying to cook food. How do we manage, Kajal, let's start with you. How do we manage the macros in a food, with a dal or a sabzi, or, when we go out for a restaurant meal, how do we quantify the macros, the protein, the fats, how do we do that?
Yes. Thank you, first of all, for having me on board today. And it's such a nice pleasure to share this with the amazing Ush, So starting on talking about macros, I always, 28 years of journey with food and how our body works. We are what we eat, right? But Indian food, I was brought up in a family where, Indian food was daily breakfast, lunch, dinner, thepla, parathas. Lunch was again that dal, bhat, roti, evening was the same thing. So Indian diet is filled with lots of carbs, full stop, fats and carbs, very little protein. Now, where it comes to protein, um, you know, 28 years of journey with curing. Of course, it all started curing my mom's cancer. But then it also gave me an insight of what our food was made up of. Because when I started cooking, when I took over from my mother's cooking and I started cooking, I thought, wow, so what portion is the protein? And literally, when it comes to the daily normal Indian household cooking, we have like 10% of protein, right? And then we have got 60%, the rest is carbs, and then probably 20%, or you would say, is fats filled. Now, how much damage are we doing daily to our body is what I actually learned through cooking myself in the kitchen. And when I was curing my mom, I realized that she never wanted to barge in from that diet that she was eating. She always wanted dal, roti, nice, delicious parathas, everything. How do you cut from there? So what I did was I designed the food, the recipes around the flavors that she was so used to having, right? But just changing that whole concept of enjoying that delicious dal, roti, parathas, all of that, right? But then balancing out good carbs, because carbs are necessary, right? Fats are necessary, protein is necessary. All of these are necessary, but bringing and learning the concept of what is actually good, what are good carbs, we must ask ourselves, what are good carbs? And most Indians are vegetarians, so these are questions that we must always ask ourselves. So yes, balancing it all is important. And I think to your question, I would say is my cooking, I learned that adding more protein to the diet. And then, of course, educating the people that I was feeding that, look, the flavors are still there. You're still enjoying your dal, but do you know what is in your dal? I'd ask a question and my mom says, no. I said, look, I've added all the spices. I've added fats, but good fats, not the fats you use, like the corn oil and the sunflower oil, so much floating on top. I created my own oils, which are good fats, and started cooking. Flavors was the same, but it is only that concept, that mindset that we have, that this is how our food should be cooked. So yes, they are very important. Protein is very, very important in our Indian diet, I say to everyone. And just understanding that nourishment of plate that you bring in front of you is so important. Understanding what you're eating, why you're eating, right? And I'm sure Ushia will agree with me on this, that most of the people that we see, I'm sure in her field, people see us and the first thing they say is, I asked them a question, why do you eat? And they said, oh, because I'm hungry. We don't eat because we are hungry. We eat because we need the fuel. Food brings fuel in this body. We eat because we need to nourish this body. Without this body, we are nothing. So it is all about understanding.
You know, and it's true, and it's not an answer that you can give me in, you know, in a couple of minutes. And it's understanding that people think, oh, it's fat, so let's cut it out. But actually, we do need, you know, the carbs, the proteins, all of them. And I've like seen a big shift, especially with our generation, looking at food labels. When, you know, whether you're on a, I don't want to say the word diet, a lifestyle change, when you're on a lifestyle change and you're exercising, or, you know, when you've got young children, you want them to eat healthy, they all start looking at these food labels. But are we actually understanding the food labels? Are they actually that clear that, yes, this is good for me, or oh my God, this has got 3% fat, so, you know, we can't eat this. So I don't think it's really clear and distinctive for the community to really engage with this.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I never go for labels anyway.
Oh.
And I just always simply say to people that understand, first of all, what your body is all about, right? What your body actually needs. Now, when we talk about fats, of course, when you buy these juices from any leading supermarkets, they will have a label of no sugar. But actually, if you actually read into details, there are hidden sugars, right? Now, talking about these fats and proteins and carbs and everything, the biggest enemy of human body is sugar, right? But I know lots of clients that I see who have got diabetes, and, you know, they come to see me and they say, I measured my sugar today, it's fine. But it's only fine because you are only seeing what the machine is showing you for the day. What about all the damage that you've done to your liver over the years, right? It is not each day, it is a lifestyle that we need to look at, you know. We need to look at changing our lifestyle. We don't need to look at each day and say, aha, I got a good blood pressure, I got good blood sugar levels, and I'm fine. You're not fine. If you don't know what you're eating and why you're eating, and understanding what these foods are doing to your body, then actually you are on a wrong path. The way we need to see is, of course, the labels are there for us to buy things. The labels are there to attract our eyes, and, you know, it's all a marketing skills, in my opinion, right? What we eat is, we need to have the understanding of the ingredients we are putting in our body every day.
Yeah.
And keeping it all real and simple is the magic. It all does the magic, right? And I think recently I also taught a Diwali Mithai workshop, right? And this was very interesting because everybody who came to learn the Diwali Mithai workshop were looking at, these are all Indians, by the way, 101% clients were Indians. And we had over 300 people join for that Diwali Mithai workshop. I tell you, I gave them mithais that tasted exactly like the mithais they were eating. I said, do you see any difference? No, but it's really nice. It's really, yeah. They were trying to figure it out. Okay. all I say to them is, I've cut the fats that you cook with, which is ghee. And I'm not against ghee, by the way, but I said, we've not added ghee to this mithai, and we have not added any refined sugars to this. I have created my own sugar using the natural form of what God has given us, fruits, right? Things like apple, figs, cranberries, all natural fruits. And I taught them how to make their own sugar and create the mithai. So you can enjoy this without feeling guilty, but at the same time, also understanding ingredients, because all we've been taught is sugar is the one that you buy in the packet. Add it to your food and it's
Yeah.
sweet, right? Simple things like that, easy access to everything. But when we talk about sugar, there are natural sugars that have been
Are
provided
available.
to
Yeah,
us,
absolutely.
which our body easily, is able to. The pancreas, it's not heavy on the pancreas, it's not heavy on the liver, you know. And I can carry on talking about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
So you've heard it here first. Kajal doesn't look at food labels. And Ush, can I just bring you in on this point? Is that, I mean, you have programs, you have people who are coming to you for transformation, lifestyle changes. In terms of food, how do you recommend food? Do you tell them to look at low carbs? Do you tell them to look at protein levels?
Yes, so protein is a big part of the program. So whether you're vegetarian, vegan, or carnivore, there are ways for you to get protein into your diet. Now, I say diet in terms of lifestyle, not like diet as in trying to lose weight. What I promote to my clients is something called flexible dieting, which I'm sure Gajal's heard of. And basically the whole idea around flexible dieting is there are no bad foods. Okay, it's just how you eat them and when you eat them. So the problem is with us with food labels. So I just want to go back to your food label question, is people look at the carbohydrates, they look at the protein, they look at the fat, and they look at that, the red, green, yellow on the front. You turn that packet over. If you look at your carbohydrates, what a lot of people don't understand is that most carbohydrates will turn to glucose in your body. Glucose is sugar. So a lot of Indian clients of mine I have will come to me and go, I've got a really healthy diet, Ush. I don't know why I'm not losing weight. Darling, you're eating kakra for breakfast, tepla for lunch, you're having roti for dinner.
They taste so nice.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I am so hungry.
Jibro on a snack for, with a cup of tea. And I'm like, well, you're eating sugar on sugar on sugar, but it's carbohydrates. It's no, it's actually sugar. It turns to sugar, which is an immediate form of energy for your body. Okay. So when it comes to flexible dieting, I don't say you can't have your tepla or kakra. What I say is, think about how you're going to eat them. Again, look at how you're cooking them. So yes, maybe don't use the ghee, maybe use an oil. So I cook with avocado oil because obviously it's a higher smoking point and it's a better fat than, say, cooking with olive oil or ghee or butter, for example. Never put sunflower oil in my food, which is what my parents used to cook with quite a lot. But flexible dieting is all about looking at your calories and your macros. So the two things we focus on are calorie consumption and protein consumption. Carbs and fats are interchangeable depending on the exercise and what you've done on that day. So I would say to a client, if you've weightlifted that day, have more carbohydrates in your diet, but make sure they're good quality carbohydrates. So we're not looking at, chocolate, and we're not looking at bread. We're looking at things like maybe a potato or a little bit of rice or a little bit of something that is maybe more natural than what's been processed. And then on days where maybe you're just walking and you haven't done too much strength training or you haven't done a big cardio workout, then go more for fat. So avocado oils, olives, salmon if you eat fish, for example. But every day I want your protein level to hit X amount of protein per day, depending on their body weight. Government guidelines are about, depending on, male, female, between 0.3 and 0.6 grams per kilo of body weight. Personally, when I put somebody on a diet, I go to 1 to 1.25 grams because protein.
Can I just stop you here? Can I just stop you here, Ush? Why is protein so important in our diet?
So protein is a building block for every single cell in our body. So cells, ligaments, joints, cartilage, hair, nails, skin cells as well. So protein is a building block of life. alongside water, right? The other thing protein does, that's one thing. The other thing protein does, it keeps us fuller for longer. There's a thermogenic effect of protein as well. So when you eat protein, it actually takes more calories to burn that protein. So when you've eaten it, you're a lot fuller for a lot longer, therefore you're less likely to snack. So, you know, like for example, if Kajal was like, you know, you've got like a yogurt or you've got like this, I don't know, chocolate bar, protein yogurt is going to be way better for you than a chocolate bar, because that's going to keep you fuller for longer, satiate you for longer, and actually take calories to burn it as well.
You're telling me to replace a yogurt with chocolate?
No. Replace chocolate with a yogurt, my darling. I have a little bit of chocolate every single day. Don't get me wrong, okay? But I always go for a dark quality over 70% chocolate.
Right. Okay. So yeah, that kind of takes me nicely onto, you know, before BC, before COVID, you know, we all went out, we went to parties, we went dinners, you know, weddings over weddings. Why haven't we seen a shift in that 12 plate compartment of healthy food? You know, I you know, I've been going through a transformation myself, and I have begun to realize that, yes, you know, healthy food is slightly more expensive, but obviously on the long run, it's good for us. But why isn't the industry making this change? Because one side we are trying to educate people, the other side, you know, we're going to all these places, and now we're seeing a lot more tofus and soyas. But then the majority of the parties, you know, there's a layer of oil, there's the naans and everything. So Kajal, just enlighten us on that side.
Yeah, no, there is actually changes going around. You know, when I run my sub clubs, I do have back-to-back, you know, people coming in. And the only reason actually most of them come to Kajal's Healthy Kitchen is because of that healthy variation. So even if they say to somebody says to me, for example, I want a samosa chaat, I will make samosa, baked samosa rather than frying, because I believe that that sort of frying fat is the enemy. So I'll bake the samosa and I'll make a chaat. I'll make chutneys with, of course, using all the nice, delicious, you know, spices, and then using the sugar to balance that chaat feeling, right, with natural fruits. So they are getting delicious food, but then it's all made very healthily. Now, I know a lot of people are into it, and there is a massive change going around, but you always remember one thing: good things come in smaller variations, and also they come very slowly. So the changes are coming. It's all slow. And you know what? It is, I think lockdown did deprive people of a lot of things. We have to admit, not many people can cook, and many people also were deprived of, you know, the food that they ate, whether it was a takeaway from mom's house or takeaway places, everything. It was that people have been deprived of that social aspect, and also that food that they missed. So now when people are going out, I think it's all about going a little bit on the loose end, that we are going to eat all that we have missed, right? And then you will see that in a year's time, you will see a massive hype of health issues coming up, which at the moment I'm already preparing myself for it, you know, and Ush will know that in a year's time, we are going to face that reality come to face us, where a lot of more health problems. Right now, we're focusing on COVID, you know, recovering our immune system, you know, boosting our immune system. But in a year's time, there will be the double change that will be needed. And that is what people don't see, because people just think that, you know, it is what we see right now and what we're facing right now. But then the body inside is working way long. So that lockdown rubbish eating, right? Or whatever you call it, binge eating. And then it is going to be now the present party eating. And then that future, which is in a year's time, where everybody will feel awakened, when you will see that not only have you really ignored your immunity, but you have also ignored the fact that your lifestyle has gone haywire. People party, eat, drink, lack of exercise, because they've ignored, you know, that whole cycle of eat right, lifestyle, exercise, all that is included in there, people are going to miss out on that. And then in a
Yeah.
year's time, we are going to see a massive increase in health issues erupting here and there. And that is when people like Ush and Kajol are available.
Yeah, so I was just going to talk to, ask the next question to Ush, is that, I mean, Kajol is touched upon it, is the trend between fitness and food, the relationship.
Yeah.
Because, whether people would admit it or not, there is a strong link between them. And what do you see that as? Because, one of my bad habits is like, you've had a hard day and kids are in bed and you think, let's just have a coffee. Oh, wait a minute, I need to dip something in it. So then you get the tin out, and before you know it, half the packet's gone. So there is a relationship between your fitness levels to your daily stress levels, your lifestyle to food. Just can you elaborate on that one?
Yeah, absolutely. So, stress, emotional eating, looking after kids all day, you're going to maybe, once they're out at 8 o'clock, whatever time, a lot of people that come to me do end up kind of snacking in the evening and not realizing they're probably taking on, half a day's worth of calories in an hour just by opening a box of Pringles, for example, and snacking through that. And then it's the chocolate, and then it's the ice cream. And I'm not going to say I haven't done it myself. We all go through it. I think lockdown, there were two camps in lockdown. Kajol, I don't know if you saw this as well. There was one camp who, would have joined my program or your program and actually really locked in on going, right, I've got some time now. I don't have to worry about the commute. I'm going to focus on my fitness and my health and my food. Then there's other camp who kind of went, I've got some time now, I can snack all I want, right? And so we had two camps, and it's really interesting to see kind of the changes that kind of happened from last March to now, and see what's, as Kajol said, what's going on now. So I think what is good is that when someone gets into a fitness program and they start planning their food and they understand that nothing is off limits or is seen as bad, then they can actually plan their week's meals. Now, I try and encourage people to plan with their family. What I don't want to see is women, because obviously mainly I work with women, eating a separate meal to the rest of the family. What I want them to do is, the matriarch of the family can like literally influence everybody in that household and beyond. So if the mother or the, whoever it is in that family can start cooking healthier, can you imagine how incredible the children's lives are going to be? But what I also don't want to promote, and this is something I really, really am adamant about, is that mothers, my age and above, whatever it is, we don't want to be going, oh, I want to diet, I'm really fat, look at this roll. We don't want to do that in front of our children, because it's really bad, because then, your 10-year-old, your 11-year-old will start doing that as well. And then you're going to set them off into a really bad cycle of binge eating, emotional eating, and just really not being in love with themselves as well. So something I do promote is self-love, mindset training, nutrition and fitness. And nutrition and fitness are obviously the main two, but it has to be in the right mindset. We have to get the right mindset around it all.
What if there was a certain routine we could implement in our lifestyle, like, for example, Kajol,
is routines like making sure you wake up every morning and have a glass of water, because our bodies are made up of 60 to 70% water. Now imagine 8 hours of not drinking. You wake up and you feel lethargic, you feel stagnant. I have changed people's lives by simply saying, drink a pint of water in the morning, and they've gone within 2 days, Ush, I don't know where I get this energy from. It's the water, it's your life source, right? Absolutely. The other thing is walk. You don't have to weight train. You don't have to run. You don't have to get a Peloton bike. You have nature outside, walk, but make sure you're walking up and down hills as well to get that bit of strength training into your muscles. Our muscles deplete, especially for women as we go through menopause, muscles and bone structure. We do not want to end up with like brittle bone, or weak muscles where we can't move and sit up and down. And that's one of the main reasons I got into kind of health coaching and fitness coaching, is because I saw what happened to family members when they weren't looking after themselves. So
Kajol, what's your morning routine?
Right. So lemon water, it is good. I mean, I'm not going to be against it or anything, but I would always say that everybody's body is different. if your body levels of alkaline levels are high, you need to see whether having something like lemon, is it good for you or not? I've had clients who come to me and say, I have lemon water. I was told to have lemon water, but I feel very acidic, right? I feel, heartburn. So always listen to your body. Another thing Ush touched was routine. Routine is the most important thing. Routine is the magic for your body, right? So I wake up in the morning for like, as I say, 28 years of this journey. I started juicing. When I started treating my mom, I learned about juicing, and I always thank my ex-husband for it because he brought juicing into my life. And we did the juicing therapy. Then we used to own a farm, so it was all nice and fresh. Every morning started with juice. So I start my day with juicing, and then it starts with meditation. I do yoga, and I'm a bit of a bad girl when it comes to exercise. But yoga has been part of my life. I do that stretching every day, and yoga, and then I have my breakfast, which is very much plant-based. So anything, and then again, good protein. So quinoa is part of it. Oats is part of it. Fruits is there. Good fats are there in terms of coconut, avocado. Balancing everything. Lovely, lots of nuts. I make my own granola and lots of nuts. So nice, lovely breakfast, which fills me up. So protein, that is why, like Ush said, that, protein is so good because it keeps us filled through the day. And also it releases, when you look after the right fats, the right protein, the right carbs, they release slow sugar throughout the day, which are also healthier part of the sugars that our body needs, right? So I have that. Lunch is always again, very, very healthy. Again, a balanced diet. Walking is part of my daily life. So if I don't do 10K, at least I manage 7K a day, if whatever it is, right? And like you said, your mom would say, I'm always up and about, which my mother used to say the same thing, right? I'm always on my toes. I'm always doing something. But that is not exercise. Exercise is also very mindful. When you do exercise, you give that hour of your time to your body, learning about your body, listening to your body, watching what your body is saying. That is called exercise, right? Not when I am doing my rotis and my hands are moving here and my legs are just standing in one place. Yeah. That is not exercise, and it shouldn't be counted as part of the activity. Activity should be something that just as necessary as everything that we eat. So I think exercise is very important part of your lifestyle. Whether you're working out with Ush or you're not working with Ush, you go for a walk, simple walk. Walk is good. Oxygen is very important. I work with a lot of cancer patients, and I would say one thing to them is, what simple thing you can gift yourself, even when your body is fighting cancer, is oxygen. Because cancer cells hate oxygen. So the moment you take yourself out and breathe that fresh air, any pathogens that the body holds, we hold lots of pathogens. We hold cancer cells, we hold all the cells, these hundreds of cells. It's only when they're activated is when we realize that this body is fighting something. Otherwise, we don't know, right? Yeah. So what we do is, by eating right food, by exercising daily, by making sure we're doing mindfulness, breathing, oxygen, getting out there, fresh air, all of these are so important to keep our body in balance.
So you need a minimum of 150 minutes of cardio activity a week, right? So there's a difference. So that's the going out and actually actively, mindfully walking every single week. That's 30 minutes a day. So it's not actually that much walking you need to do to get your kind of government guideline requirements. The rest of the activity, like the ironing or the cleaning, that's considered exercise activity thermogenesis. That's activity because you're busy during the day, but it's not mindful activity. So Kajal is completely right when he says you have to go out and do your walk, your training, whatever it is that you're doing. So I just wanted to expand and give you
something like 6,000 steps.
Yeah, exactly. So not even actually 30 minutes. It's about
Yeah.
1,000 steps per 10 minutes. So it's about
10 minutes,
3,000 steps.
So
Yeah. It's
yeah.
not, that's your minimum requirements.
But
Absolutely.
pottering around the house up and down, you can do your 2,000-3,000 easily. So yeah.
Yes. So this is like, that's your pottering, that's your non-exercise activity, but then you have to do your 30 minutes of actual
Exactly.
exercise activity. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, it's a good point made. So both of you, is there anything such as a cheat day in food and fitness?
Can I go first?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
No, there is nothing like a cheat day. If you have a flexible diet and a flexible lifestyle, understand how and when you need to eat. So for example, you know you're going out for dinner on a Saturday night, you can plan for that. You can have less calories. You can maybe take out some fats or some carbohydrates from the day before the event. You can maybe even fast the day. So sometimes when I know that I'm going to go out for a big 3-course meal on a Friday or Saturday night, I will pretty much fast the whole day, have a small snack around 3 o'clock, and then I'll have my meal. There is nothing. The problem with cheat days is that it puts this into your head. People start looking forward to cheat days. I'm going to eat a whole pizza. I'm going to have a burger, fries, milkshake. You don't need to do that. And in fact, you should only look at having a cheat meal if you're thinking like that. No, because if you have a cheat day, you're going to end up ruining 6 days of hard work, because easily people can eat 6,000 calories in a day if they really put their mind to it on a cheat day. So I would say no. Kajal?
So I call it cheat or cheap, right? Whichever way you want to choose it, right? And I always, I enjoy food. I enjoy going out. I never deprive myself from social. So I'm invited all the time here, there. What my trick has always been is the day before, I sort of cleanse my liver, okay? And I sort of inject a lot of good things into my body, right? When I say inject, I don't mean inject. I inject through the mouth. A lot of nice, good food, right? To align that gut with something good, right?
Yeah.
And then the day I'm out, I will mindfully enjoy whatever is served to me, right? Whether it's high fats, low fats, whatever. But I do make a choice as well. I make sure that my meal outside is started. It includes a lot of greens. Okay, so even then, I still try and make a good choice when I'm eating out. And then, of course, when I am the next day is a nice cleansing process. Lots of pineapple juice, extracting celery juice, watermelon, eat a little lighter. So I then let my body rest the next day. The next day is all about, after you've eaten anything naughty, give your body that rest to sort of, push that toxin out of the body. That's how I always think. So good, bad, and then the next day is eliminating that toxin from the body. Just have that. And it's all, honestly, this should be your lifestyle. It shouldn't just be a 21-day or an 11-day or a 3-day diet. It should be your lifestyle. Just once you get used to understanding how your body works, then I think we will all
that's
be
the key thing.
Yeah.
The key
Another thing that you should do is always look at the menu of the restaurant you're going to before you get there, and look and see what is good for you, right for you in that moment. And then don't change your mind when you get to the menu, when you get to the restaurant. I always say that. I say to clients, send me the menu. I'll help you choose it. I'll help you choose your meal.
Restaurant, you just see everything and you want to eat everything.
Yeah, true. Sometimes that happens, and drink everything as well.
No, so thank you, ladies. So we've heard it from Kajal. You can have Gujarati food in a healthy way and create that same authentic taste. And if you still want to eat your kakras and jalebis and everything and have a good exercise program, then you need to go with Ush Push. And so you've been watching iGlobal's The Great Big Indian Wellness Show, and there's plenty more, so stay tuned. And if you've missed anything, then head over to iglobalnews.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.